This is lesson 82 in orientation, lesson 31 in study tips. Schedule out your projects. There's a little bit of information about this in the PDF, but I would like to talk about the subject in reference to the reading clubs that we have here at the Academy. The one is the John A. Woodsoe Reading Club. John A. Woodsoe was an apostle. He was also at one time president of Utah State University and at another time president of the University of Utah. He was a very learned individual. He, however, knew several people who were highly educated, but they had not ever gone to the university or to college. In general conference at one point, he mentioned this fact, and he said, you know what the difference was? These men read. And so he challenged the membership of the church to read for 30 minutes each day. And by so doing, he said that we would become very learned and very educated. So the John A. Woodsoe Reading Club requires that a student read 30 minutes a day. This is something that needs to be put in the schedule and scheduled out. So if you have a calendar, you want to look at it and look at what the bumps in the road might be. For example, do you take gymnastics lessons? Do you take piano lessons? Are you in a community sport team? Other things that might interfere with you reading that half hour a day, and schedule out when on each day you are going to read for half an hour, because that is the requirement of the John A. Woodsoe Reading Club. The other reading club is the Ben Carson Reading Club. This is a very interesting story. Ben Carson's mother was very anxious that her boys become good students and good scholars. When they were young, the boys were at the bottom of their class, and the mom consulted the Lord about what to do. Well, she came back with the answer that the boys should go to the library and each should read 2 books a week. This transformed the boys' education, and it is a very, very good practice. In fact, today Dr. Ben Carson, who ran for the presidency in 2016 and is now the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, several years ago started a charitable organization in which they helped to establish reading rooms for those who are unfortunate and who need a place to be able to borrow books or to read books. That's how important it has become to Dr. Carson. The Ben Carson Reading Club requires that a child read 2 books a week. The other thing that Dr. Carson's mother did was that she restricted television. Well, in our day, it can be video games or texting or whatever might be interrupting our time when we should be reading and studying and learning things. So, consulting with parents, the student can determine which of the 2 book clubs they want to join, whether they want to do a half hour a day and do the John A. Woodsoe Reading Club, or if they want to read 2 books a month, or a week, excuse me, 2 books a week. And you can fluctuate between either, but it both requires that you schedule out your time, excuse me, and you get a calendar out and you look at it and you say, okay, I'm going to have to read 2 books this week. What are the 2 books I'm going to read? Now, there's a catch with these 2 books, and that is that they can't be like this. They have to be substantial books. You can read 2 books if you're a 4 or 5 or 6-year-old, because the books that you are probably going to read are not going to have that many pages in them anyway. But as you progress through the levels and through the classes, you're going to want to read bigger books, and that's going to take some scheduling out.